Chapter 3. That evening, Amanda's mum was going out. She didn't go out often, but when she did, she always managed to find the most annoying babysitter she could get in Amanda's way. Amanda was quite old enough to be left on her own without a babysitter. Babysitters were for babies, she'd tell you. The clue is in the name. And she hadn't been a baby for years. Besides, she wouldn't be on her own, would she? She'd be with Roger. But it happened every time. Amanda would rehearse the arguments loudly, intelligently, pleadingly, and the babysitter would just turn up all the same. It's as if, Amanda said to Roger, she doesn't trust us. I blame you. What? Said Roger, taking umbrage at the accusation. Well, you did break that vase of hers throwing the ball round in the dining room that time. Roger's jaw hung open. Firstly, he said, counting on his fingers and wondering if he'd had enough, it was a jug and not a vase. Secondly, it was you and not me who threw the ball. And thirdly, it was an orange and not a ball. And fourthly, you said it was a hand grenade, not an orange. And fifthly, she interrupted, I told her it was you, Roger, because you're my shining knight who takes the blame. Otherwise, she'd have been dead angry with me and I wouldn't have been allowed burgers on Friday. Did I say thank you? Roger was confused, but that wasn't unusual. He scratched his elbow. The doorbell rang. They ran downstairs to find Amanda's mum opening the front door to a tall teenage girl. She stood in the rain under a dripping black pop-up umbrella and talking loudly into her mobile phone. Yeah, so I'm at the house now, she was saying to whoever was listening. Gotta go, okay? Yeah, speak later. Yeah, mwah, mwah. She made loud, mock kissing noises. Amanda looked at Roger and tried not to laugh. You've got my number, haven't you? Amanda's mum was saying. I'll be back around 10. Thanks awfully for coming out at such short notice. She turned to Amanda and said, you be on your best behaviour for... Oh, sorry, what was your name again? Marigold, but everyone calls me Goldie. Isn't that a dog's name? Said Roger quietly. Amanda giggled and her mum said, be nice. It wasn't me, Amanda said. Roger said something funny, that's all. Oh yes, her mum said. Amanda's got a friend called Roger, but don't mind him, he's no trouble. There's two of them? Goldie asked. You didn't say there'd be two. Oh no, Mrs. Shuffleup laughed. There's no need to worry. Roger's imaginary. She half-mouthed, half said the word, but still everyone in the hallway heard it. Mum, Amanda protested, he's standing right here. He does have feelings, you know. Mrs. Shuffleup looked at her daughter for a moment, took in the crossed arms and the frown and said, sorry, love, I didn't mean to be rude. Well, it's not me you should be apologising to, is it? Amanda didn't uncross her arms until her mum looked round and said, sorry, Roger, to the thin air nowhere near where Roger was stood. Apology accepted, said Roger. He said he forgives you, Amanda said. After she'd made herself a cup of tea, Goldie said, so where's the biscuits? The three of them were sitting at the kitchen table. The room was warm and the back door was open. Although rain was falling hard on the patio, the evening hadn't got cold yet. The air smelt clean, tangy, almost electric. The storm had swept away the close, sticky, dull afternoon, and although the clouds hung low and dark and the thunder grumbled overhead, the rain felt good and the evening felt fresh. In the jar, Amanda said, pointing. Mum says we're allowed 2 each. The babysitter pulled the biscuit barrel across the table and lifted the lid. Okay, so 2 for you, she said, extracting a pair of cookies with her long fingers, and 2 for me. She replaced the lid. And 2 for Roger, Amanda said. Roger, said the girl, confused. Amanda rolled her eyes and said, of course, Roger. Mum always lets him have 2 biscuits too, because he's a growing boy and needs his vitamins. Goldie slapped the table and smiled as she remembered, laughing. Of course, your imaginary boyfriend. When I was... Whatever Goldie was about to say was forgotten as Amanda spat the nibbled corner of cookie all over the table in shock. He's not my boyfriend, she said, sounding utterly outraged at the very idea. Ugh! She wagged her hands at her mouth as if she had somehow expunged the bad taste through the power of waving. Roger sat in his chair and stared at her. He didn't like the suggestion any more than Amanda did, but he wasn't sure all the theatrics were entirely necessary. Calm down, he said. She glared at him aghast. Calm down, she repeated, as if she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Mandy and Roger sitting in a tree, Goldie sang between sips of tea. Kiss. That's not even his name, Amanda snapped, turning on the babysitter with a glare. Pardon? It's not Roger, she said firmly. It's Roger. And I'd be dead before I'd kiss him. Goldie stared at Amanda for several long seconds before she put her mug down. She looked like a babysitter getting out of her depth. Whatever you say, she said. Amanda huffed and crossed her arms. Just so long as you remember that Roger is not my boyfriend, and you've not given him 2 biscuits yet. Goldie reached into the barrel and pulled out 2 more. She looked at Amanda as if to say, where do I put these? Amanda said, anyway, Roger doesn't much like biscuits, so I'd best look after them for him. She took the cookies and kept them safe in her stomach. 10 minutes later, Goldie stood in the hallway with her eyes shut. She was counting. Upstairs, Roger sat in his wardrobe, the same wardrobe he'd appeared in. He knew it was the first place Amanda would have looked for him, but tonight she wasn't the one seeking. Downstairs, Amanda had tiptoed into the study and tucked herself into the space under the desk where her mother's legs normally went. She'd pulled the chair in behind her so she was almost completely hidden from sight. She sat with her knees up under her chin and her back to the wall like a subterranean gargoyle and waited. 98, 99, 100, Goldie called from the hallway. Come in, ready or not? Amanda listened to the silence of the babysitter's thinking. She could picture the look on a teenager's face. Should she go upstairs or downstairs? Check the kitchen or the front room? Look under the lampshade or under the table? How to begin the search? There was a buzz of excitement in Amanda's stomach. She listened to the kitchen cupboards being opened and closed one after another. Then, the under-the-stairs cupboard door gave its usual creak. Goldie was certainly being thorough. This was good. After a moment's quiet, Amanda heard the babysitter's footsteps come closer. Through the legs of her mum's chair, she saw the silhouette of the girl in the doorway. Goldie reached out and flicked on the study lights. There's Amanda hiding. Amanda resisted the urge to wriggle back further under the desk. Making a noise at this moment would be disastrous. Keep still, she told herself. Keep quiet. Goldie looked around at the bookcases and then pulled open the top drawer of Mrs. Shuffleup's filing cabinet. Amanda wasn't in there. She took a step into the middle of the room. Amanda could see her legs, watching her turning in a slow circle. She thought about the study. There weren't any cupboards to hide in. There wasn't a laundry basket or a wing-backed armchair for a girl to crouch behind. In fact, she realised with a sinking feeling, the only hiding place in the room was the place where she was hiding. Even Goldie was bound to work it out at any moment. And then the doorbell rang, and Goldie went to answer the front door. There was a boom of thunder that rattled the windows, and Amanda shifted underneath the desk. Her left leg had begun to go to sleep. This was a good opportunity to get comfortable while the babysitter was distracted. I'm sorry to bother you, young lady, said a man's voice from the hallway, but my car has broken down. There, it's a dreadful weathered evening tonight. My portable telephone is out of... Be so kind as to let me borrow your telephone to call for... said Goldie, the uncertainty in her voice obvious. Well, it's not my house. Mrs. Shuffleup, she's out right now. I'm just the babysitter. I don't know if I... Oh, I understand, really. I've been left in charge and you feel troubled by a stranger knocking, but will only take a moment. Really, do be my saviour, young man. What harm? Amanda didn't hear everything because the rain was thudding loudly against the study windows now, but she had the oddest feeling she recognised the voice. It wasn't a voice she knew. She was sure it wasn't one of Mum's friends, and it wasn't one of the neighbours, but... Well, Goldie was saying, it's not my house. Of course, I understand. No harm. I see the lights on next door. I'll try there. Good evening. Yeah, Kay. Night. The front door shut, and the sound of the rain on the front path was hushed. Still, that voice was working its way round the inside of Amanda's brain. She couldn't quite place it. It was most annoying, but the man was gone now. So she said to herself, never mind. And then the lights went out.